Hey guys, how's it going? How's your beautiful day going on this beautiful, fine, beautiful day? Today we have our week 3 NFL reactions, or our week 3 NFL disappointments, or surprises and disappointments. This is the most unpredictable season I think I've seen in recent memory. I forgot to put in my predictions video what I got week 2 for my picks. I got 9-7, and then this week I was 6-10. Really bad week. It's literally the most unpredictable season. So we're gonna start off by talking about my team as the first surprise of the week. The Denver Broncos beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 26-7. And y'all were saying Bo wasn't the guy. Y'all were saying he was done. You didn't even give him a chance to play more than 2 games in his NFL career against 2 top 10 defenses. And now he goes up against the Jets next week, who are going to have another top 10 defense, maybe even top 5. So don't expect him to look good next week. But this week he looked very good against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. Offense actually looked fun to watch for once as a Broncos fan. Even though we, like, in the second half, or after those first 2 touchdowns, we scored 4 field goals the rest of the game, and we didn't really get into the end zone. It was still 10 times more fun to watch than it has been in years prior. Bo Nix, 25 for 36, 216 yards. He had a great game. Bo Nix didn't throw a touchdown, but once again, he didn't throw an interception, and he only threw 1 interception-worthy ball, which was honestly just a better play by the defensive back than it was a bad play by Bo Nix. This was a great game from Bo, a great comeback. He didn't get sacked once. In the pocket, he looked super, like he knew wherever, like his pocket presence was very, very good in this game, and he played well without throwing a touchdown. He also ran for 47 yards and a touchdown. We do got to figure out our running backs, though. Our top 2 running backs were essentially unusable today, except Jaleel had a very, very, very sick touchdown where he juked out the guy. But Tyler Beatty might be a guy, but I mean, it was kind of garbage time yards. But other than that, this offense looks so much better than it has in years prior. And it was very, very fun to watch. The defense also, with 7 sacks and an interception, the defense was stifling. They played absolutely amazing against a very good offense. So far this season, Tampa Bay's been a great offense. 2 sacks from Dondre Tillman, however you say that dude's name. Jonathan Cooper had 1. Zach Allen had 1. Nick Bonito had 1. John Franklin Myers had 1. Devon Key had 1. Like, everybody was getting their fair share in the backfield today, and it was very fun to watch. So Denver's going to be my first surprise of the week. All right, now we're going to go to our first disappointment, but it will also eventually be our second surprise of the week. For our first disappointment, we'll just talk about Houston. Actually, we're going to talk about the surprise first. We're going to talk about our second surprise before we get to our first disappointment. What the Okay, I severely underestimated the Minnesota Vikings at the beginning of this year. I did not expect them to be this good. And props to Sam Darnold, man. He has played out of this world. You just got to give all the props in the world. Aaron Jones also had a fantastic day on the ground, 19 carries for 102 yards. He also caught a touchdown out of the backfield, and Justin Jefferson also caught a touchdown. This team looks amazing, but their offense being great is not as surprising as their defense being probably the best in the league. They probably have by far the best defense in the league. They held the Houston Texans with CJ Stroud to 7 points. I've never seen offense look so hard for CJ Stroud. Like, even when he was a rookie in his first couple games, I mean, the offense didn't look this hard to CJ. And Brian Flores is the best defensive coordinator in the league. And this defense is just unbelievably good. Like, it's hard to look at their first 3 games and see anybody scoring points on this defense. Let alone, like, the only time this team is going to lose this season is when a team just outperforms them defensively. That seems like the only time. And Jonathan Grenard was great in this game. Van Ginkel continues to show that he's been underrated. This game was unbelievably. I was shocking. It was shocking, honestly. I mean, last week they beat the Minnesota Vikings beat the 49ers, but the thing was they didn't like blow out the 49ers. They played the 49ers pretty well. But the 49ers stuck with them at least. The Texans just got their absolute asses kicked, and I don't think they're on the same level as the 49ers talent wise. But I mean, this was just a terrible loss for the Houston Texans and a beautiful win for the Minnesota Vikings. And again, we'll go to the Texans now for our first disappointment of the week. CJ Stroud played awful. If we're being honest, he played one of his worst games as a starting quarterback. Like I said, it's never looked so difficult to play offense for CJ Stroud. There wasn't much he could do. Stephon had a good game, but I mean, it didn't matter at whatsoever. Their defense got to the quarterback 6 times, but no interceptions. No, they didn't force any turnovers whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, the Minnesota defense had forced 3 turnovers, and that's a recipe for success there. I mean, Minnesota and Green Bay have to be pretty scared of this Minnesota team, because they could easily, now that I'm watching them, they could easily take this division. Easily. I'm not going to say that they are going to. Based on their play so far, I wouldn't be surprised if they won the division. I still have the Lions, but I mean, the Packers and Vikings are going to be clawing for that second one. And I wouldn't even be surprised if Minnesota won this division at this point. All right, now our second surprise of the week is going to be the Green Bay Packers. Malik Willis, man, he has played some fantastic football while he's got the chance. He has, I was saying this on Sunday, he has earned a contract with somebody. Their guy is Jordan Love. He's not going to take Jordan Love's job, obviously. But Malik Willis has earned a contract somewhere. Whether that's with the Dolphins right now, or it's with a team who doesn't have a quarterback, Malik Willis has earned himself a spot on a team no matter what, whether he is a backup quarterback or not. He has played fantastically throughout his time in Green Bay so far, and they absolutely made, like, they put the Titans to shame. Good on them. Emmanuel Wilson also had a great game. He had a few good runs and some catches out of the backfield. He did catch a touchdown. Josh Jacobs didn't look amazing today, but I mean, it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, because in the rushing game, Emmanuel Wilson and Malik Willis played pretty well. So Josh didn't need to look amazing. He also needs to make sure he doesn't do that again. And their defense played really well. I'm not going to knock the Packers defense, but at the same time, they were playing Will Levis, and Will Levis is just not a starting quarterback. I mean, he can make some throws. He has the arm for him to make some great throws that you wouldn't expect some people to make, but he's got to fix that awful turnover problem that he has. All right, we'll go for my third surprise of the week is going to be the Carolina Panthers. Man, it sucks because Bryce Young just might not be an NFL quarterback. He was the problem. I mean, it sucks to hear because he had promise, but man, he was the issue here. Andy Dalton, 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, it looked easy. It looked easy. It looked like there was it didn't look like there was a lot of things where like Andy Dalton didn't look bad in this game at all. And that just sucks. The first game out there, he looks like one of the best. I mean, he was probably the best quarterback this week. Andy Dalton looked fantastic. And they scored 36 points on the Raiders. He came out and looked amazing and made this offense look good for the first time since Bryce Young started. Or since last year, since his one game that he started last year, honestly. And then you got Chuba Hubbard, who had a great game. Deontay Johnson had his first breakout game with this team. Played absolutely amazing football. This defense, up until the fourth quarter, this defense only allowed the Raiders for 7 points. They played very well. They only had 3 sacks, but I mean, they played very good. They got a pick on Gardner Minshew. So, all right, my third disappointment for the week is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not putting any of this on Joe Burrow. This is not Joe Burrow's fault whatsoever. He played a fantastic game. 324 yards and 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. This offense played good football. This offense definitely played good football, and it sucks to see how bad they lost. Well, no, they didn't lose that bad, but it sucks to see that they lost this game, scoring 33 points. You let Washington score 38. Jaden Daniels looked fantastic. He only threw 2 incompletions. Jaden Daniels might be the guy. He might, oh my goodness. Jaden Daniels has played fantastic. Rookie of the year for sure so far. This defense, this Cincinnati defense played atrocious football. Like, they didn't help whatsoever when it came to helping Joe Burrow and this offense play football. They had 2 sacks, and honestly, besides those 2 sacks, I don't know if they got pressure ever. Like, it just seemed like there was no pressure on the quarterback all day. This defense looked awful, like, for Cincinnati. They looked piss poor, and you can't look piss poor against Washington. A couple other things I'd like to talk about. This game was very underwhelming. I thought this was going to be a high scoring, beautiful game to watch. It wasn't. Rams, I don't even know how you won the game. I'm going to be honest. Realistically, I don't know how you won the game. When you look at the stats, there's not one stat where you're like, oh yeah, that's where they won. They turned the ball over more. Their offense was worse. Statistically, their defense was a lot worse. Like, I don't even understand how the Rams won this game. And I watched this one on Red Zone. What's crazy is you would watch this game, and it seems like the 49ers always kind of felt like the 49ers had this game in the bag. No matter where the Rams were in this game, it just seems like the 49ers were outplaying them, and they kind of had the game in the bag. And I don't even understand what happened. But shout out to Juwan Jennings. Shout out to Juwan Jennings for sure. We're going to talk about this game. Ravens, you squeaked out with one, but it was a much needed win. And as I said in my reactions, this week could very well determine who wins this division. And the Baltimore Ravens might win this division. And I might be sleeping on the Steelers because they're 3-0 now. And they may shock me and win this division. I wouldn't put it past them right now. This is a huge win for the Ravens and a huge loss for the Cowboys. Their defense looks awful. For 3 quarters of this game, their defense just was atrocious and their offense wasn't even good. So you'd like to see some improvement there because they're already looking like the pretenders that they look like in the playoffs every year. Cleveland might be the worst team in the league. They just straight up might actually be the worst team in the league at this point. Like, it's not even funny. That's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave it a like and subscribe to the channel. Please click that subscribe button if you can. It really helps me out. Click the like button if you can. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.